is the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show. It's presented to you by the Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation. I'm Chase Miller. This week on the program, we'll talk with Doug Margerum of Northern Cass as Northern Cass won the ABLE games on the school competition, and we'll talk with Doug about that. Also, Ada-Borup-West baseball head coach Mike Erickson will be joining the program. We'll hear from East Polk County softball and as well Central Cass boys golf, the defending state champs in Class B. Troy Roesler, the head coach, will join us. Then we'll have a senior spotlight with Marcus Biffert of Central Cass as well. Again, let's get to the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show with Doug Margerum of Northern Cass. Well, it's always fun on the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show to get some other activities or sports in along the way, and one of those are the ABLE games with Connor McGovern has really came alive, a former Fargo Shanley Deacon who's played in the National Football League, and he's giving back to the community as well. And with us from Northern Cass is Doug Margerum here as they were able to bring home the first ever school ABLE Games champs. And the one thing that I was talking with Doug beforehand was just kind of how this all came to be. How do students get involved? And it was crazy, Doug, you were saying that there's over 100 schools that participate around the region this year in Fargo. Fortunately, Mother Nature kind of allowed that to happen a little bit. But for someone who hasn't heard of the ABLE Games before, Doug, just give us a little background upon that before we talk about how it kind of got implemented into Northern Cass School District.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Chase, for taking the time. The ABLE Games really is just CrossFit, modified CrossFit with the goal of inclusivity and making sure that everyone has the opportunity to participate, modifying moves, and really with the goal of just being, lifetime fitness. Like you mentioned before, Connor McGovern with his organization brought it using CrossFitness as a way to stay in shape, realizing, boy, there's a great opportunity here in partnership with TNT Fitness, to bring this to schools. And what a great way to bring in a community builder, where you partner students that maybe have a disability with mentor students, and they go through CrossFit moves competitions, and there's 5 different rounds that they have, and for 2 days, and in April is the big competition, and 2 days, 2 rounds on Friday, 3 on Saturday. And like I said, our team, we were able to kind of come out victorious after 5 rounds. And it was just a really cool moment just to see all our kids come together, not only for those 2 days, but going back all the way to September is when we start preparing for this with our kids in several areas, schools that really kind of brought to life this when our special education director, John Porter, really kind of approached this about 3 years ago. So yeah, very proud.
Yeah, you mentioned about 3 years ago. So was this starting when Connor kind of brought the ABLE Games to that point? Was it, okay, I know Connor was talking about the ABLE Games in general, but when did Northern Cass School District kind of, if you will, say we can start our own program or have an ability to have these students with some of their mentors or mentees kind of, utilize that and grow it to where it is today here, Doug? Like, kind of what was the background over the last couple of years?
Yeah, John Porter, I mentioned him a little bit earlier ago. He's our director of the Rural Cass and South Valley Special Education Unit. He's the director. And so he came to our area school, said, what if we want to get involved with this? Again, it's just a great opportunity, not only students with disabilities, but that ability to partner and create this cohesiveness rather than, you're by yourself, bringing people together. And so he said, let's do this. Let's start kind of building it up from September. We practice the moves. We practice the workouts, the individual workouts. We'll go to individual host sites, schools, kind of do this build up. Kids do about an hour workout. He brings pizza as well. And then, they have this community, they have this fellowship, and then we'd rotate from school to school. So we've been doing that for this is our 3rd year. And really what it is, we just look at our kids saying, all right, how many will want to participate? I go out then and I work with some of our area coaches and Mr. Eukstead, Mr. Laxdal, our track coaches, Mr. Eller, just see like, hey, do you have any athletes that might be interested in doing this? You can also I'll give them the opportunity to do their community service hours as well. So there's a little bit of a hook, but most of them, they're just said they love it. They just do it for the goodness of their heart and just a way to connect with their peers in the building. So that's really kind of the approach that I have it. And it's a commitment, because then I also have to say, it's like, yes, we not only do you get out of school like once a month, like to go practice, but we really also need you back in April in the competition, because that is kind of the key thing right here. And so, learning to the kids, like, all right, hey, do you have any proms? Do you have any track meets? So it's always gets a little, oh boy, what's going to be right there long term. But our kids, they're committed. They knew that they wanted to, they had this event that was coming up, and they wanted to be with their peers. And like I said, Connor also does a great job, though, because there is a little bit of a, first prize. I know they do a little financial incentive, some Shields gift cards there as well. So yeah, we had a couple of kids last year that won the individual portion, and they were treated very well. And then there's also some scholarship money that goes along with it as well too. Connor and his wife, I know they put up about five $1,000 scholarships. And we were fortunate this year, one of our kids was able to come away with one of those. Kayla Treader, who also is one of our senior athletes, runs track, was one of those recipients. So very thankful. And there's some criteria about how you have to, make sure that you're participate in the games themselves. But Kayla, and like I said, all of our kids, they really just do it, just the connection that they get with their kids. So it's a great moment.
The one thing about the ABLE games, it's the inclusiveness, right? It doesn't matter. I mean, we were talking about it, grade 7 through grade 12, that's pretty much the criteria. But from there, sometimes you hear kids with disabilities unable to getting opportunities to play or compete. And this is what allows them to do that. And the cool thing is they're doing it with also their classmates. Could be an older classmate, could be a younger classmate, but someone's there helping them out, cheering them on, training them along the way here, Doug. So take us through that process a little bit more of how much has the ABLE games grown when, yes, as much as an advisor or a coach, you always hear that in sports. It's one thing hearing it from the coach, but it's another thing hearing it from your teammate, so to speak. If someone's trying to, inspire you or trying to say, hey, we got to go one more lap around the track one more time because that'll make us better. What's that relationship from your point of view been like, seeing the students come together over the last couple of years?
Oh, you see it, like you see it all the time, just in the halls, like in passing. And again, Northern Cass, we're still a smaller school where we still see, being a K through 12 building. I mean, we have this interaction, seniors passing by, preschoolers during lunch, and, high-fiving and where it is. And so it's just, we've always had that, but it's just really now cool to see it like from a competition level, and now the support side of where they're interacting. So we also, as a school, we hype that up as well too, where educators are also recognized, like, hey, they're gone for ABLE games, they're practicing it, they're asking their kids about it. So like everyone is in tune about this, like they know who's involved, they know who this is, where they're going, where they're at, and it's just makes this extra level of cohesiveness at Northern Cass just extra special, because it is a school-wide event, and we view that as well. We want to make it that opportunity where it's just not just something else, but it is part of what we do, and just make it that regular special. And like I said, we celebrate those moments as well, and wanting to just give, like, making sure that everyone has it, because we have that proud moment where they're walking by and you could just see the smiles on all their kids' faces, like, hey, you did well. And you just, hey, first place, saw your picture online, on school Facebook, and just, it's one of those moments, like I said, it's like easily one of my favorite events that we do here. I'm just proud to operate it, just because I know it. We've always had that, but it takes it just to another level, just knowing that the competition side is there. And, sports brings out the best. I've always been a firm believer in that. It just brings out the best of another layer and bringing people together. And I think that just really fits the bill well. And it just adds to our culture here in this building, just making kids feel included and being a part of something.
Couple more questions, Doug, before we let you go. Who are some of the participants? Who are some of the members of that winning team that was allowed to, bring Central Cass home that first ever title in the ABLE games?
Yeah, thanks for asking. So I know we have a couple of our Jack Veekan. Jack kind of came back. He's been involved in Able Games even a little bit before earlier, but he was one of our champions last year. Logan Gonzalez, he's a freshman. Abby Doolum, another freshman. Then we have Landon Mosher, who's a senior. He's been doing this now for 3 years. Kayla Treader, a second year as well. Then we have Sam Nelson, Julian Lichtenberg. You have Trey Hughesar, Skylar Johnson, Casey Fix was there as well. Again, a lot of those names that you probably called before and recognized as well. So like I said, they serve as our mentors, and just making sure that they're a part of it. And yeah, like I said, we had three of them paired up, and then like I said, a lot of them then are also served as just helping out other schools or other athletes that might not have been able to have a partner that day just because of how events fold. But we had our kids in the building and just making sure that they were there, that everyone was able to participate and feeling. And that was really cool about the Able Games. It's just that even if your partner wasn't able to make it there, somebody hops in and just lends a hand so everyone is able to compete and have fun. And it's an intense day. It's really fun. It's eye-opening when you see it. And it's just one of those that just fills your heart, just fills it with a lot of joy, just seeing the competition go and just seeing like the inclusivity and just making sure like, the cheering that goes on. And I give all those kids and all those athletes, like, I'm sitting up in the stands watching that and like they're working their tails off for 9-10 minutes just in that one event. And I kind of jokingly said to him, it's like, yeah, maybe next year they should have like a principals division because then maybe it'll motivate me a little bit more to kind of get out there. But it is inspiring to watch them work together out there and just seeing what they're able to do. And yeah, to be young again for some of those kids. And we talked a little bit about that, going to track or baseball and then coming back the next day and, doing 200 burpees and then, lifting deadlifts. I don't know. It's really cool. So.
Final thing, Doug, for other schools who have been able to, utilize it in their system, or maybe there's some schools that are hearing about this for the first time. What has been your experience on why this should be maybe part of the curriculum in a roundabout way with physical education? Maybe it's part of, another extracurricular activity that can be offered, within a school district. Why has it been good from your point of view, with Northern Cass, but why should other schools really take a look into, being part of the Able Games moving forward?
Kind of going back to my first part there, Chase, it's just if you're looking to build a culture of inclusivity, bringing people together, through the ability through sports competition, this is a great way. It's inspiring. You see what at all ability levels, that's the part where it is. You don't really, think like, oh, you have to go out and buy this equipment. You don't. That's the beauty of it. It's really, you modify, you use what you have on site. You can easily go into a gym. You don't need to go out and buy a bunch of stuff. You really don't. And it's just simple moves. And so like in TNT has been really good to work with, I know with the Able Games. We've been fortunate enough where they've come out, they've shown us, they demonstrated what they do in preparation. And yeah, now we've been fortunate enough to also, like I said, utilize what's been the Able Games PE curriculum in some of our middle school, elementary. I know Mr. Rice and Mr. Ukestead, some of our elementary, middle school PE teachers, my own kids go through this once or twice a week, what they call it Able Games Wednesdays, where they're doing moves and they're keeping track. And so now I brought the trophy down to them. I said, see, you guys got something to kind of work towards now. And so my daughter would come and say, we had to do Able. I said, but yeah, think about the Lifetime Fitness, but maybe one day now you can go and you can compete for this as well too. So just those opportunities and just thinking about now, how can I compete with, all of my classmates as a possibility. So yeah, we're really, really fortunate. It's growing. And I said, next year, I'm going to probably have to think about now, like, because I have a lot of requests, to be mentors now. And so I got to think about like, how do I kind of narrow that down? So it's a good problem to have, but it goes back to our kids that are just wanting to give back and also be, something larger than who they are and to recognize the goodness in everybody. So I'm excited. It's very fortunate, proud moment for us here at Northern Cass, and just again another opportunity that we're able to provide our kids.
Doug, as always, thank you so much for the time and congratulations on that first banner and trophy there with the Able Games with Northern Cass.
Yes, thank you again, Chase, and thanks for the time. And always happy to hop on and talk to you. So thanks again.
And again, Doug Margerum here from Northern Cass will continue on our Coaches Show after this.
Live, work, and play here in Hillsboro, North Dakota. The Hillsboro Economic Development Committee can assist you with information and support for business and housing. Experience Hillsboro. More at 104.
College goes far beyond the buildings, classrooms, and the tests. It's about making new friends, trying something different, and discovering your purpose. It's about getting involved, supporting your community, and joining the conversation. It's about learning, growing, and finding your passion. This is not your average classroom. This is the University of Minnesota Crookston.
Lee Brothers Sales, Highway 9 in Ada invites you to order your new Chevrolet vehicles. From the Silverado, Trailblazer, and Traverse, Lee Brothers is your authorized Chevrolet dealer, providing sales and service to the area since 1975. For ordering your vehicles, talk with Mitch Smurfer J. Trust the experts who know your vehicles best and take advantage of great Chevy certified service offers today. Lee Brothers Sales, Highway 9, Ada. Call 218-784-2000.
I'm Tylee Johnson. I'm confident in the arena. And when it's time for college, I'm confident Bank of North Dakota will help me make good student loan decisions. Visit bnd.nd.gov/confident.
I'm Lily Bell. I'm confident on the court, and when it's time for college, I'm confident Bank of North Dakota will help me make good student loan decisions. Visit bnd.nd.gov/confident.
Treat yourself to a great career at American Crystal Sugar Company. Team up with quality people making quality products. Full-time and year-round in a stable business. With great pay and benefits including time off available from day one. American Crystal Sugar Company invests in you to promote your continued growth and career advancement. Grow your career doing your best work within the world's best beet sugar company. Apply online today at AmericanCrystalCareers.com.
Your LiveEvent.com Coaches Show. Ada-Borup-West Cougar Baseball head coach Mike Erickson joins us as a slow week here because of some weather. Having time to chat with us a little bit about what's been happening so far. 5 games into the season and how are things coming in the early going?
We're playing relatively well. We're certainly putting up our fair share of runs outside of one game where we faced arguably the best pitcher in our section. So, 4-1 start. Last week we lost to Sacred Heart 3-0. Didn't play the best defensively, gave up too many free bases, and their pitching shut us down. We had opportunities to score, but couldn't get a 2-out hit. I mean, we were probably 3 hits away from that being a 4-3, 5-3 ball game. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles there. And we played relatively well against Bagley. I would say that's one of the first times we didn't really play hard for a full 7 innings. But we did play well at the end. Put up, I think it was a 6 or 7 spot in the 6th inning to push it to the 10-run rule. And Bear Nodden pitched in that game and did a nice job coming off an injury there as well. So it's, like I said, kind of nice to get him back.
Kind of just alluded a little bit there with some injury also in the early going. You have things like state conventions or family trips, and people just, because the schedule's not always around. So how did filling some of those gaps and seeing some others in some actual game time performances, what did you learn about that?
Yeah, that's kind of twofold, of course. So we obviously you want kids to be 100% committed and there all the time, but I get it at the same time to an extent. And like I said, spring is a really busy time of year where there's a lot of school activities with state FCCOA and Econ State Challenge and some things like that. FFA is coming up. It gives us an opportunity to put in some different pieces and kind of see what we have. So gotten Luke Finney in a little bit and see what he can do at the plate and behind the plate as a catcher. And, like McCoy Anderson and Connor Nelson and Braden Booing, Tyler Catlett. I'm probably missing somebody there, but a handful of those sophomores that we'll see. That they play a lot of our JV innings, but if we can mix them in, whether that's in a defensive role, offensive role, courtesy runner, that type of thing, we can see what they're made of.
Number of names, a number of different scenarios you just talked about there. And are we seeing an improvement in that plate awareness, the defensive scenario awareness here game to game?
Yeah, we're still struggling with a handful of the really common things that those kids that are kind of on the border of JV varsity struggle with, such as swinging at high pitches or the game being kind of fast defensively, where maybe we don't glove everything that we should. And but we work through it, and really the only way that they're going to get better is with experience. So like I said, these types of mistakes are something we can certainly work through in April. But by the time we get to May, we want to solidify those things. And, we do have some things like that, even with some of our seniors that we're trying to figure out too. One thing that I would say that I was impressed with when we played Sacred Heart and facing Park Erickson is we had 8 strikeouts, but 5 of those were between 2 guys. So, 7 guys in our lineup did a really nice job of putting the ball in play. So that's definitely an improvement. Last year, with almost the same group of kids, our first 2 games, we struck out close to 30 times. So definitely some strides being taken. And, some of that is just growth and strength and things like that. But some of it is playing more baseball.
With more baseball coming up, as we said, this week, nothing scheduled. Weather doesn't look like it's going to allow you anyway. But what do we got coming up here if people want to come check you out there at the Tony Sype or wherever you're going to be at on the road?
Yeah, yesterday we had some JV and junior high games against Monome and Waubun. That was Monday evening, and it was good to get those guys some innings because based on the some teams that we play, they might not have JV, they might not have junior high, and both of our programs we're sitting 40 plus kids, so good to get them some innings there. And then next week we're home against Fertile on Monday, and then on the road at Foston on Tuesday, and on the road Friday at Mayville. So it's gonna amp up here. We're gonna be 2, 3, 4 games a week, assuming, and maybe more, assuming we might get some rainouts along the way. But hopefully, Mr. Wallin keeps his future seeing in place here, because he didn't schedule any games for us this week and it's raining. So if he scheduled games, it must be sunny. That's what I'm going to go with. Sometimes
the crystal ball is right.
Yeah.
Let's look at that matchup coming up on Monday. You host Fertile Beltrami, 2 programs, squads there that always, no matter what's happening on any individual given year, play each other tough.
Yeah, we seem to usually get one of Fertile's best games. I think that's, as more of these schools have co-opted over time, I think the Ada-Borup-West Fertile Beltrami rivalry is kind of amplified in the last 10 years. So, yeah, I think whenever those 2 schools are playing each other, it's certainly going to be something that has some intensity to it. And I know that they have a good core of baseball guys coming through right now. They might still be a little bit on the young side, but like I said, I think they're going to play hard and they're going to give us their best game. So, I've kind of mentioned that to our guys in general, that we're going to be a team that has a target on their back and a team that other teams want to take down. So it's important for us to play hard. Every game, every inning. If we take games off, we might end up in a dogfight. And we kind of saw that last Friday against Bagley. A team that we ultimately ended up reaching the 10-run rule with, but it was 4-0 through 4 innings, 5 innings, whatever it was there. And it was tight, and their guys were throwing strikes and that sort of thing. So, like I said, I think if we don't play hard, it takes a lot of our skill set and talent away, where those are really rooted in our athleticism, our speed, and those types of characteristics.
Simple question, maybe not so simple answer. What's it take for the guys to go play hard?
Running hard is a big factor in it. You hit a pop-up or a ground ball, especially a ground ball. There's a chance for that to be a single or an error every time based on how fast majority of our lineup is. And then the other side of it is just mental intensity mostly, making sure we're ready to make plays. If our pitcher makes a pitch and gets weak contact, we have to make the play. And if we don't, it's going to be a long day for us. And kind of the same idea at the plate. If their pitcher leaves one down the middle, we need to hit it, and we need to be on time and be ready right away. So yeah, I don't know if there is a real simple answer to that, but I think what I've noticed with this team is that we're fast, we're athletic. Defensively, we can get the balls like crazy. Offensively, we can run hard and put pressure on defenses to play faster than they want to play. And if we're jogging around and going through the motions, that takes away one of our edges.
Well, looking forward to see you guys on Monday there. Hopefully you bring that intensity and we get to see a good game between you and the Falcons. Mike Erickson, head coach for Ada-Borup-West Cougar baseball. Mike, always good to chat with you here. Best of luck. We'll see you there next week.
All right. Thanks, man.
Hey growers, when working on your water management solutions, call Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. They are your water management contractor, helping you with tile drainage plans, service drainage plans, or both. Remember, water management is a lifetime investment. Call Chad 701-430-0182 to get your water problem solved. For more information, follow Chad's Excavating on Facebook. For tile drainage and service plans, call 701-430-0182. Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
Do you want that new boat? Are you building onto your home? Maybe you want the new camper or ATV. Dakota Heritage Bank can help you. This is Dustin Nagel, president at Dakota Heritage Bank Hillsborough location. You can visit with me or our other loan officers to help with loans and lines of credit from Dakota Heritage Bank. We are serving you with locations in North Dakota and Northwest Minnesota. Dakota Heritage Bank offers financial services you expect with a local perspective. dhbanknd.com. Dakota Heritage Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
There's more at 104. Hillsborough, North Dakota has everything you need on your next road trip. Food, fuel, fun, and family-friendly activities. Stop by and fill up your tank or grab a bite to eat. Have a blast at Goose River Golf Club, the swimming pool, or one of our beautiful parks. There's even ice skating and cross-country skiing. Take in the sights or stay the night so you don't miss a thing. Experience Hillsborough and see why there's more at 104.
Joining us now from the Central Cast Squirrels, it is Troy Roesler here for the Squirrels golf team as they enter the season as the defending champs from last year, and they bring a couple of nice golfers back as well this season. First and foremost, Troy, thanks so much for your time. And I know the question that I've been asking any type of spring coach to start off with, what has made the difference, particularly on the golf scene, either getting on the range, getting on the putting green, actually getting some swings in on a golf course instead of sitting in a simulator or, hitting the batting cages, if you will, but for golf. What's this year been like compared to last year for you as a coach?
Really enjoyable. I mean, we had some kids that actually went out and golfed in February. Some courses opened for a little bit, and that just doesn't happen. It's the last year was the other extreme, right? I mean, we didn't get on a course. Our first, we did a virtual one at Sweet Shots on May 3rd, I think, last year. So we still weren't outside on the course yet. And to think that we can get those extra swings in and actually get out on a range, we can get out on putting greens. Not that simulators aren't great. They're a nice tool, but they are just a tool, right? So it's been so enjoyable.
And the nice thing is you got a couple seniors coming back in Cole Roesler and Marcus Biffert. Let's just talk about both of them to begin with here. What do they kind of provide? Number one, as seniors, obviously kind of that leadership role. But number two, going through that, championship run last year and being part of this golf team for a while.
Yeah, I can't say enough about them. We're really senior heavy, actually. We have a bunch of other kids that are growing too, but Marcus and Cole have been through it. They've helped built this program with Coach Erickson that passed away. They brought it to a new level, and it's been a climb because this region is a strong region because Oak Grove and Kinnard are always top 5 in the state, if not top 1 and 2. And so, not that we're the ugly stepsister, but we've always been close, but we're never trying getting over that top. And that's always been a goal of theirs, and it was a goal of Coach Mike's. And Cole, very good golfer, very good athlete. You've seen that in other sports. And Mark is the same way, tremendous football player. And the good thing is they're both 4 points in the classroom. I mean, they're the kind of kids that you want to be around as a coach, and you want leading their program, and they do a great job of it.
And then from there, someone who had a really good season last year too, and Jake Thompson, in terms of what his ability was. Similar question: what are you looking forward from Jake this season on the course?
Yeah, leadership and stepping up. He played a ton of golf this summer. Him and another kid that's trying for one of the top spots, Gavin Tope. Jake played a lot of golf. He's traveling. He loves the golf. He's a very strong golfer. He's a year behind them, which is great because then I don't lose everybody this year. Him and Colin Voigtman's just a sophomore. So those 4 are coming back from our state team, and I want them to show some of their leadership. We had a little party to start off the year. We celebrated that we won it last year, and now we're not talking about it again. Last year's in the past. We need to put our nose to the grindstone and get out there and play. And we know that Kinnard and Oak Grove are going to be very good again. And that's why they have strong programs. Their kids belong at Oxbow. Their kids belong at Fargo Country Club. They have the club pros. They have great coaches, and they're good kids. They're fun to compete against. So we know if we're going to make a run again, we need the leadership from those 4 coming back after last year's team, and we got some good young ones that are trying for spots. So.
What do you enjoy most as a coach with the game of golf? Because it reminds me similar to a track, for example, right? It is team, but it's also individual. It's individual, but it's also team. So what do you enjoy most, a little bit about the game of golf, Troy? Once you get to a golf meet, and if someone's the last couple of groups, how much are you kind of talking with them of where, positioning kind of is, throughout the course of the day?
It's been a learning experience for me too. Anybody that knows me knows I'm a little bit of a control freak. And basketball, I mean, everything, who I'm putting in, all that kind of stuff, right, wrong, or indifferent, that's just who I am. And in golf, it's, you have some control, but when they're golfing, and, and you got them in 6 different groups. So you're trying to get to different groups to see what they're doing. Plus, you can't be on the green reading their putts. You can't be doing any of those things. And quite honestly, they're probably better at it than I am anyway. So I'm more there as a mental coach to, help them along. You have a bad day, you blow up and you get an 8. You know what? That one's in the past. We got to figure out how to hit the next shot. And so that's been very enjoyable to kind of watch the kids take their own leadership. I kind of compare it a little bit with, Coach Lamar with wrestling when we talked about taking this job. He said the nice thing is yep, it's a team and you and all the team stuff, but individually they have to compete when they're out there doing it, and it's one-on-one. So if they shoot a better score, they win. It's not, well, why is this guy playing and not that guy playing? It's what did you shoot? What did you post? So it's an interesting mix to me because I've never taught or coached individual along with the team before. So it's been very enjoyable. And the good thing is, it's like anything else you coach, it's the kids. Kids are wonderful. They keep you young or make you old, and I hope to believe that they keep me young because they make you laugh, and half the stuff I don't understand what they say anyway, but it's a lot of fun.
And the one thing, too, is you guys have a plethora of students that are coming out for the golf program here, so that has to be a fun thing, but also, okay, similar to baseball, I have 10 pitchers on my team, but I only got 7 innings to work with. Same thing in golf. You have 50 kids, so to speak, Troy, right, but you only have so many positions between a varsity, junior varsity club where they can actually get out there on a golf meet. So how do you kind of balance that going into the season when you get so many golfers up, but there's only a limited amount of spots who can actually compete on those particular days?
Yeah, it's tough. It's a good blessing, though. And I hear some of the other coaches, like coaches on the tournament, coming up, they might bring 3 guys. That's all they got. And so I'm like, boy, only 3, so they all get to play, but then you're never going to compete for a team championship either. So it's a blessing, but it's also a curse in the fact that we have some very good golfers that might not make the varsity this year. I mean, we have some seniors that are great golfers, are good athletes. And if they do a qualifier and the sophomores beat them, then the sophomores go to the event. So it's good and bad. It makes us very competitive, but it's also it's tough. It's nerve wracking. You know, I mean, and you think, well, I'd like to give everybody a chance, but you can't do that. I mean, that's sports, and that's why it's a varsity sport.
What's one thing early on in the year here, as we are in April? I know we'll probably still get a day where it feels like freezing when you're on the golf course, and hopefully, you turn the page over to May as you kind of make that push to the postseason here. Troy, what do you want to see from your guys that are going to be competing the first couple times around? What's the one thing from a coach's perspective, win, lose, or draw, that you want to see early on in the season here?
Okay, you can probably tell by the gray hair, it's not highlights. I'm a work guy, and so I want rounds. I want kids out there playing, and we have that. I mean, I have kids that we had junior senior banquet, and so junior and seniors weren't supposed to be there. I had some that went out early and played around because they weren't supposed to be at practice. That's what I'm looking for in April and May. Just like in basketball, I always said you don't win championships in December, you win championships in February, March, and that's how I feel about golf. I mean, right now in April, we're just trying to figure out where we're at. You're going to hit some bad shots. You're going to say, why did I do that? You know why? Because it's April. June is where we're trying to get ready for. And we pointed out that even though we'd won the state championship and it was a blast and the kids deserve all the credit in the world, we looked at the banner and said, we've never won a region championship. So Oak Grove is right there. They beat us in the regional. Kindred's always good. There's a target, but we're still kind of the stepsister. So we have to keep working. We got it done. We got it done in fashion last year. I'm very proud of the kids, but that's over with. Let's see if we can put our time in and work ethic and go after it. And they've done it. And that's what I look for early. Early is show me that you want to work and get after it.
Final thing for you, Troy, just in terms of the game in general, if someone maybe has a child that they've never really been to a golf meet before and it's the first time they're going to it, or it's an aunt or uncle or friend, whether it is, something that is, in Cottonwood and Castleton to a regional to whether it's at state, why should someone come out to a golf meet, and watch a high school student athlete just like they would in wrestling or basketball or football? What makes golf such a unique spectator sport from your point of view as a coach here, Troy?
Number one thing is you're on the field with them. You're it's like being in a football game. You get to walk around on the field where they're at, or you're in a basketball court and you're on the court with them. It's the only sport that I know that you're on the actual course with them. And with that is you're involved. You get to see every shot. You get to look and you can walk right with them. You can, do the same things they're doing. You're not hitting the ball for them, obviously, but responsibility with that is that you're not really allowed to talk to the golfers. You're not, you don't want to get in the way. You don't want to get hit by a ball. You don't want to talk in their backswing, but you get to be immersed into the competition. And I don't know any other sport that you get to do that, whether it's cross country or anything, you're still you're walking the whole thing with them. And so I think it's a neat experience because you're kind of partaking with them.
Troy, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck here this season. And as you get on the golf course, hopefully it's more 50s, 60s, and 70-degree temperatures than those 30s and 40s that you've been accustomed to in the last couple of years.
Whatever it happens, it's got to be better than it was last year. But you know what? We're going to make it either way. I'm a big pusher for fall golf, and I know the girls have gone that way, and I hope the boys do it sometime. But we're going to make the best of it. We're all playing the same, and we're outside. We're not shoveling snow like last year.
Troy Roesler, again, head coach of the Central Cass Boys golf team, with us here on the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show. This week, join us for a senior spotlight from the Central Cass Squirrels. He is Marcus Biffert here as he's ready to get back on the golf links one more time and defend that team state championship from Central Cass. But a lot to talk about outside of golf here, Marcus. What does it feel like having a month left of your senior year here before you kind of get ready for college? What's the student element kind of like going for you right now here this spring?
It's kind of crazy. Have a lot of work, not a lot of days I'm in school because I'm out pretty much 2 days a week for golf. Getting your grad party, getting graduation, I got prom. It's just kind of crazy, but you just got to take it one step at a time and live life. It's fun.
Let's talk about the golf season a little bit. Completely different in the month of April compared to last year, obviously, where you were barely able to add anything outside of maybe go to like a Sweet Shots, for example, in the month of April. This year, you're able to get on the course, obviously, here in April already. What's it been like actually getting some swings on the course compared to this time last year? What's that like for, a golfer's point of view here in April?
It's always great to hit outside because hitting on mats and hitting on simulars, yeah, you might get like information, but it's never the same as hitting on grass. I mean, I got to play a round in February at Detroit, which is crazy. And it always just, it makes the state tournament so much better because you're so much more ready when you're just already playing on grass.
The big senior class, you got a number of golfers that are coming out just in general, about 50, but a number of the seniors. What was it like last year as a junior being part of a championship? This year, what's the expectation with you and the fellow seniors who are trying to, be top 6 on the varsity team and try to go for another, region championship to hang that banner, but also trying to make it back to state?
It's huge. Like I've grown up with them. I've golfed with them all my life. And it's always just been like, where the buds just kind of go out and have fun. And I expect us to win every meet and try our best and win state and win a regionship this year. And all of us seniors be all state, me and Cole, hopefully.
The one thing about golf, what is the one area that you enjoy most about the game of golf? It could be a particular swing. It could be maybe, just getting on the course and hanging out with your buddies. What's one thing, Marcus, that you enjoy most about golf?
I like how you can never be perfect at it. I love how it's so statistical and how one week you can be on top of the world and the other week you could be terrible. I just love how you can keep on improving and you can never settle. You got to be very humble.
Between football, wrestling, and golf, what are some similarities and what are some differences? Do you take anything from golf as an example to football or anything from football to wrestling? What are some things that are similar or different from those sports that you played, Marcus?
Wrestling is a lot more like golf, which might sound crazy just because of the individual side. It's all on you. There is a team side, but you help the team more in this. In football, more just kind of like the planning. Like in football, you study more, you watch film. Here, you're looking at the courses, you're looking at the misses, like where you want to go on the green, all of that. And yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
As you're moving forward, once you kind of turn the chapter next year, you're heading up to Grand Forks for college. So number one, what are you studying up in college? And number two, why was UND the good fit for you?
I'm going up there to do data science, which is pretty much like a computer science degree. This campus is beautiful. They got top tier facilities, and I just really like the fit in the engineering program up there. And I thought my degree will take off in the next couple of years. So I thought it was a perfect fit for me.
For Central Cass, what's a favorite sports memory? It can be, as a fan, maybe when you were younger, maybe it's you as a player, a wrestler, something as a golfer. When I think of a couple of sports memories, what comes to mind for you, Marcus? What's 1A or 1B's for you?
The most memorable ones probably last year at state. We had a coach, Coach Mike, 2 years ago, passed away, and it kind of just meant a lot for us to come out and win it by such a margin as we did last year, and to have Mr. Roesler, our coach, just come in at 1 year and have such success is just kind of amazing.
As you kind of look ahead here, are you anything in terms of superstitious, Marcus, before you get on a golf course? Did you have to do anything before football or wrestling before you kind of got to that kickoff, or so to speak, that first whistle or that first tee box?
Football and wrestling, not so much, but golf, all my clubs need to be washed the night before, the grips, everything. And they all need to be in the perfect spot, and there cannot be any grass on them before I hit a shot.
So the clubs are making sure you can see yourself through the shine, so to speak, right? You can see that reflection?
Yes.
What's a favorite class during your time at Central Cass? What's something that you enjoyed most learning about?
I really enjoyed my math classes with my golf coach, Mr. Roesler. He made it, which he's retiring this year, which is kind of sad, but he just made learning so fun, and he made math, which isn't the most fun class, very fun, and you can just joke about everything with them.
If you could go back to your own, 13, 14-year-old self, or put yourself in the shoes of someone who's, chomping at the bit to be part of a varsity team, no matter what team that is, Marcus, what would be some words of advice that you would, go through now that you're a senior and give back to your younger self, or someone who's, that eighth grader freshman and wanting an opportunity to play at the varsity level?
I would tell them to be patient. Like, it comes with time. Work hard. no. Some people have talent, but working hard beats talent. And just have a good mindset. You only have so many years. You got to just live them up and have fun. It's fun.
Best golf shot. If you could do anything on the particular green, maybe it's chipping, driving, what is your number one golf shot? What's one thing that you enjoy the most once you get on the range?
I love bringing out the D stick and just trying to send one out there. I'll try to send one farther than everyone else. It kind of is a confidence booster.
And final thing for you, Marcus, from a golfing standpoint, is there a particular course, whether it's local or somewhere in the States, what's a golf course that you enjoyed the most playing, or another course that you wish you can play that maybe isn't in the region if you've had the opportunity to kind of, golf outside of the Red River Valley a little bit?
Oxbow is a great course. It's beautiful. It's well kept up. It's a tough course. My favorite, though, is probably where we're playing state this year, Carrington. Very, very open, very fits my game. Very, if you hit the ball farther, it helps you. But I do wish we could play out like Western North Dakota, like Bully Pulpit, like some of the links, those courses. Those are great courses too.
Marcus, thanks so much for your time. Enjoy the last month of your senior season, and best of luck on the golf course here this year.
Thank you.
That again, Marcus Biffert with us for our Senior Spotlight. That does it for the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show throughout the season. Thank you so much for tuning in every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. We will do this again once we get closer to the 2024-2025 school year. On behalf of everybody that helped us out here on the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show throughout the season, to the coaches, to the athletes, to those behind the scenes, and those who did the interviews. Thank you so much for joining us and being part of prep sports across the region. I'm Chase Miller. That does it for the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show, presented to you by the Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation.